talent that he was losing at the university and, keep that talent with him and show the players in the state who the boss was. And that was the mindset behind it. Now, when it kind of takes away with the playoff system and some of the non-conference scheduling and trying to beef that schedule up, it takes away some of the opportunities that the little guys have. And, it's kind of the way it is, and it's a sad part of it, but it would be nice if maybe they were able to sneak one of these types of games in with an in-state rival.
It does, and I don't think it's going to be a complete shutout. For instance, Vanderbilt, let's be honest, is nowhere close to getting into the college football playoffs. So I think Vanderbilt, at least for the next few years, will likely continue to play FCS opponents and in-state opponents like that. And Vanderbilt has played Tennessee State in the past and has played Austin Peay. And I think we'll continue to do that until and if ever it gets to the point where it could possibly get in that mix of the college football playoff. And we don't know how long that's going to the college football playoff may expand to 8 teams at some point maybe when this contract is over, maybe even if it's with 16. And when that happens, it could be, the philosophy could change. When a new committee takes over, the philosophy could change. But yeah, I think it was a great thing what Trussell did and what other coaches do. There's a lot that do that. Now, some have to be forced by the legislature of the state. You've got governors in some states that force schools by that are under the Board of Regents to play either smaller opponents or opponents on a different level like the FCS. And it's unfortunate that it's come to that, but that's the way it is in some places.
And finally, Mike, we'd like to ask you about the Tennessee Titans. Mike, I cover the Titans. I go to the games, and they've been deplorable. And I feel bad for your colleagues sometimes, Jim White and John Glynn, having to write about the Titans and David Clymer as well, because they're just not inspiring. When I'm in LP Field, it's more visiting fans there than it is Titan fans, and the Titan fans that are there are leaving after the first quarter, second quarter, and not supporting, because once it doesn't get a first down, 3 and out, they're done. And Ken Whisenhunt, to me, Mike, is being hard-headed again with his schemes. 7-step drops for a line that's D- at best, and getting your guy hit every week. And now Jake Locker's back in there, a quarterback he does not want to see. He wants out of Tennessee. And he's going to be playing the string after the Titans. And Nate Washington had an impassioned speech on Sunday after the game, which I was right there for. And he told the truth. He stopped short of saying it's the coach and organization, but he's sick of losing, sick of the same old. And, Mike, you've been in Nashville since the Titans been there. Is this the worst you've ever seen them play for us hitting the rock bottom and this being bad?
Oh, it's not even close, JR. They're so bad now that they are worse than they've ever been. And not only that, they give you nothing to hold on to. They give you no reason for hope. There's nobody on that roster that stands out that, maybe a Kendall Wright, a Justin Hunter every once in a while. I can't even include Brandon Sankey in that. I won't include Mettenberger in that. On the other side of the ball, Darrell Casey maybe from time to time, and if Pollard hadn't gotten hurt, he was a player that maybe could have been in that role. But no, they don't even give you any reason to hope. And I think it's going to take as close to a full cleaning house as it can be. I think the best thing that can happen to them at this point is to continue to lose out so they can get the high draft pick and start there. They didn't do bad with last year's draft. If there is anything positive about this team, last year's draft class does seem to be pretty good, and that gives you a little bit of reason to hope going forward. The schemes, as you mentioned, the 3-4, which personally I've never been a big fan of, they have no personnel whatsoever to fit that. So I question why you would, maybe force a circle into a square peg at this point, but they did. So now they're committed to it, and maybe that gets better as they find the adequate personnel to fit into it. But yeah, the fans have thrown in the towel on this team, threw it in a long time ago. Not only the games that you attend, like you said, there's so many empty seats, and the fans that are there from the opposing teams, their television ratings are the lowest they've been in 15 years. They've gone from averaging around a 25 ratings of a 25 each week to down to around 16, 17 now. And, it looks bleak for that, franchise.
Yes, indeed, Mike. And I'm hoping tomorrow against the Jets, I will have something to look forward to tomorrow when I watch this game, but I'm not banking on it, Mike.
No, I guess, like you said, Jake Locker is the only thing to keep an eye on, and he's auditioning for another job elsewhere. So maybe that can help the Titans in some odd way.
Yes, indeed. Mike, it's been great to have you on, buddy. Now, I'll see you real soon on the road here covering these games, and you be good. And once again, on behalf of me and John, congrats on the Hall of Fame induction. You deserve it. You're a great guy, and I love all your work.
Thanks so much, guys. It was good to be with you this morning. See you later.
See you, Mike. And that was Mike Organ of Tennessean, joining JR and John on the Bossman Show. Coming up next, Branson Wright.
For all your photo, video, and voiceover needs, check out the fine folks at Blueberry Productions. They will take good care of you. If you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. Check out their work at blueberryproductions.tv, the Facebook page, Blueberry Productions, also a Vimeo page, a YouTube page, and it's Blueberry, BLUBERRY, Prod on Twitter. Check them out today. Blueberry Productions, great people, great work, great service. Hip-hop fans, I got a great album for you. The debut album from Family Grind ENT, True Speech and 313 Fresh. We're going to give you 2 discs, 33 songs of pure, genuine hip-hop. Albums available on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, illstreetrex.com, and streaming live right now on Rhapsody, Beats Music, Spotify, Xbox Music, Slacker Radio, and SoundCloud. Check them out today, True Speech and 313 Fresh, Family Grind ENT. Believe in it, get it.
Back to the JR The Bossman Show with John Beckler. This is JR The Bossman, along with John Beckler, and we're joined by a writer for Cleveland Plain Dealer, cool guy, covers the Browns up there in the Cleveland, Ohio area up there where my man John is. We're joined by the man himself, Mr. Branson Wright. How you doing today, Branson?
I'm doing good. How about you this morning?
I'm doing good. First question for you, Branson. A week prior against the Colts, Mike Pettin set it up where we was going to see Johnny Football. We was ready for him. He was coming. But all of a sudden, he pulls that rug from under it and says, we're sticking with Brian Hoyer because he gives us the best chance to win. Now, I understand why you would say that. He has got you the point you are. But the guy has been playing like Geno Smith almost for the last few weeks. Throwing reckless picks, looking at one receiver, not knowing those progressions, and Mike Pettin took away the excitement of Johnny Football. He could have started his first home game there against the Colts. Andrew Luck versus Johnny Football. What would have been better than that? And the defense got the guy 14 points, and he still couldn't get the job done. So, Branson, you're right there down on the ground, right in the thick of it. Did you think it was going to be JFF, or did you always feel it would be Hoyer? And where were you at? Were you on the Hoyer side or the Manziel side?
Well, I thought he should have made the change to Manziel because of, the way Hoyer had been playing the past few games. And in the game in Atlanta, a lot of people talk about how Hoyer brought the Browns back and set them up, for that winning kick. But Hoyer is the one that put him in that situation in the first place on how bad he had played and how inconsistent he was. So, I thought he was going to make the change to Manziel, but for some reason, he decided, it looks like, just to give Hoyer one more chance, just to make sure. And, we don't get to see all of the practices, so I don't know, maybe Manziel wasn't doing as well in practice, or he didn't give the coaching staff enough confidence that he'd be ready for that Colts game, but they decided to give, as I said, Hoyer one more chance, and I think they were sure after the Colts game that it certainly was time for a change, and that he definitely gave him, or he exhausted everything he could for Hoyer. So Sunday is going to be Johnny Manziel, and we'll see what happens.
Well, Branson, when the season first started, I was kind of on the Brian Hoyer train, and he played well enough to keep them in games and get them to the point where they are and amass more wins than I think that most people thought that they would have throughout the course of this season. Now, over the course of this past few weeks where Hoyer's play has suffered, I became of the opinion, and you can speak to this, when the quote-unquote veteran quarterback is making rookie mistakes, then why not just take the upside of the rookie, which obviously they're going to be doing this week. I think last week they gave Hoyer the shot, and it was basically like them saying, hey, listen, this is your shot. If you can't get it done this week and turn it around in some fashion, give us a glimmer of hope moving forward, then we're going to have to turn to the future and then put Johnny Manziel in the game. I don't know where you come out on that, but that's kind of the way that I saw it playing out through the media and reading between the lines of these press releases that we get of the press conferences that are given. So, just speak to that. Is that kind of the feel that you got, or am I off base here?
No, exactly. It was definitely his shot. It was, he had played bad in the previous games, and he wasn't the quarterback that started the season. Hoyer was playing very well. The running game, I think the running game has always been the key for him. He does well off the play action pass. When the running game is flowing, he's able to find open receivers. And, the point I brought up to, in several other interviews, the fact that Josh Gordon came back and in some ways it hurt him. Talking about hurting Hoyer because he focused in on him too much. Before him, he would spread the ball out to the other receivers, and then all of a sudden Gordon comes back, and we know he's one of the better receivers in the league, and the thought was that would help Hoyer's game, but it made him regress because he just focused in on him and didn't do the things he was doing earlier in the season as far as spreading the ball around. But to answer your question, yeah, that Colts game was definitely his shot. It was a position where the Browns would decide that if he can't get it done, then it's just time to look at Manziel, at least these last three games, and to see what they have in Manziel. And if Hoyer would have played well, he would have been the starting quarterback today as the Browns make a push for the playoff. And guys, I mean, this is rare where you have a team with a winning record and this late in the season, a chance for the postseason, and then they move their quarterback. So it's a different and challenging situation for the Browns right now. And, everyone's excited up here to see what happens on Sunday.
Yes, indeed. And Branson, talk about the return of Josh Gordon. A guy who's electrifying, a guy who's just dynamic, led the league in receiving last year. And there are reports out that he's out of shape. ESPN trying to run to him like he's the reason the Browns are losing. He took them out of their flow, and then the backs with West, and Crowell. You got rid of Ben Tate, not to mention Trent Richardson, that train wreck that's in Indianapolis now. So talk about the Browns backs and Josh Gordon and how it's just like they're supporting Manziel. Like you get those West and Crowell going, and with Josh Gordon and Jordan Cameron over those concussions, you have a good setup for the Browns offensively. So how do you feel about that going forward when Gordon gets back in the swing of things and those bats maturing and hold on to the football, Mr. West?
Well, certainly, Gordon has to. And let's go back again to the game against the Falcons. I mean, the way he came out, it was the thought that, hey, this guy's not going to miss a beat. He's just, and I'm sure fantasy owners all over the world were happy to see how he did in that first game and probably anticipated that it would be more of that. But, it's the thing about adjustments. He's been out for most of the season. And then he had Hoyer, a quarterback who he's used to, but for some reason those guys just got, one would zig and one would zag as far as the passing routes. So, with Manziel now, it'll be interesting to see how Gordon can at least go back to how he played against Atlanta. We'll find out if it just basically was a thing of him getting in shape or was it learning the plays and being on the same page as the quarterback. But at least you can go back to the draft. Gordon was excited and was hoping that the Browns would pick Manziel. So now that Manziel is playing on Sunday,